Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am so excited that you are here to join me again. Welcome to Jen Cares, powered by Chosen Counselors Back to School series. I'm your host, Jen Cares, and the founder of Chosen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. Special thanks so much to Dr. Cindy Legree, who joined us last week and shared about the counselor and how that counselor is there to serve you. The amazing part is that the information was not just for young learners, but for mature learners as well. So the thought for this series was to bring some educators to give some tidbits on virtual school and how you can stay safe, what steps you want to take regarding future grades, and just to share some words of wisdom from those that are helping navigate the children of our future. So here we are with the final episode of our Back to School series. Thank you so much again for joining us. And tonight's guest, we have Danielle Crawford-Burroughs. I just met her officially today through a connect from my sister, and I just loved her energy. So thank you, Tracy, for connecting me with my new friend, Principal Danielle. Our second guest is Daya Jackson. She is a school teacher, and we go way, way back to youth choir days at Prayer Chapel, where my mom was a musician at one point, and her father is still the pastor there. So help me welcome Principal Danielle and teacher Mrs. Jackson. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Woo! How are you doing, ladies?
Hello. Wonderful.
Awesome. So what we do here is we start out with a quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, "Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today." Malcolm X. What are your thoughts on that?
Ms. Jackson, I'll let you take that first.
Right, thank you. So we love passports. Passports are our best friends because it allows us to get to where we want to go that is not in the area we're used to going. So our passport takes us to a variety of different places. So I agree. I love that quote because the passport for education can pretty much open you to a whole new world of opportunities.
Awesome.
I think that with a passport, you can travel anywhere in the world. There are no restrictions. So for those of us who have taken education and used education as our stepping stone, we have had some setbacks but no limitations. If you continue to pursue your education, it can open up the world anywhere for you to go. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that we all come from very, very humble beginnings, and education has been just that, a passport for us, and open up opportunities that we typically would not have had had we not embraced all that encompasses a quality education and being a quality, not necessarily a quality education, but a quality student. Because even if you're in an environment where your education is not the best, you can still advance. You can still take things from that experience to help grow you. I mean, I think it's all about education. It's not necessarily what you learn from a book, but it's those experiences and those life lessons that help you be able to navigate through this world. And the classroom settings prepare you for that. And then encompasses everything that you go through in your life. So yeah.
Got it. Yes. And I like to add that sometimes we have to upgrade that passport. So you first get a passport when you graduate elementary school. Then you get one when you graduate middle school. Then you get one when you graduate high school. And that one from high school is great for certain areas that you could go into, but you may have to go and get a trade school passport. You may have to get a college passport. Then you may need a graduate level passport, and some of us get that doctorate level. Y'all go ahead and be great. Y'all doing it. So that's like an amazing thing. So definitely important to have your passport. Okay, so as always, I have prepared some questions, but if any of my chosen friends who are listening and joining us via Facebook or YouTube have any questions, be sure to type them in, and we will be sure to ask our guests on tonight. So let's get into it. But before we get into the question, let's really go back to school. Have you ever been sent to the principal's office?
No. I didn't have those type of parents where that was allowed.
Okay.
So I clowned in school. Don't get me wrong. I made sure I was on top of my grades, and I just didn't have. My mom was in education. My family, like, I come from a long line of educators, so I didn't want to be the one to get that call, and my mother had to leave her school to come to my school.
I understand. How about you, Danielle?
At 38.
I also had those parents, and I had never had to go to the principal's office. I did have an incident in middle school where there were some girls. I was in the mix on the bus with them, and the principal told my parents, like, I've never even seen her in the office. So no, okay. Never. I talked a lot, but never enough to where I had to go to the principal's office.
I totally understand. I remember I used to have dreams, right, where my mom would be sitting in the back of the class with a newspaper, and then I would do something and it would come down. So that kind of like helped me to stay in place. One time I went to the principal's office, not so much because I got in trouble, but like that period, growing up, the boys playing these games and you don't want to play them games no more. You got to get the big dogs in on the conversation. But other than that, never been sent to the principal's office either. So yeah. So never had that. So okay, we got something in common. So let's talk about your favorite lesson learned from school.
From teaching or from being in school?
Either or. The world is your oyster.
Got you.
Actually, tell me from being in school, because we'll talk about what you enjoy about being a teacher now or being a principal now.
Ooh, it's been so long since I've been in school.
We know it was only 5 days ago. Don't do that to the viewers. Yeah.
So being in high school, I had a very tough teacher who I didn't feel really supported me as a student. I didn't feel like she supported the students of color. And it was a very challenging year. I ended up not passing the class, and I had to go to summer school. But I do remember that there was a SEPTA strike that year, and it was difficult for us to get to school, and it was not even a care for her. So the lesson I learned from that is that if I ever became a teacher, I didn't think I was going to become a teacher in 10th grade, but I thought if I ever became a teacher, I wanted to be for my students what she wasn't for me.
Awesome.
So that was a lesson that I learned. And I still, it was such an impact on my life because I still remember that to this day. And it's like, even when I, have to talk about it, even as recently as this year when I had to introduce myself to my children with our Bent Mosley classroom, I had a picture of a teacher who reminded me of her in the corner. And that's my why. That's my why of why I am where I am today.
Awesome.
I think the most profound lesson that I learned actually was in 10th grade as well. I had an English teacher who didn't play, and she had my older brother before me. And we went to high school in a district in New Jersey where there were only like at max, it was like 2,000 students in the school, and it was like maybe 100 Black students. And so the image that she had of my brother, I was completely different. And so what I learned is that each child from her, because she let me know very early on, I know who your brother is. and I'm not going to treat you according to how I had to treat your brother. And so that let me know, number one, that every child is different, no matter if they have the same last name. And you must deal with children where they are. And then secondly, she saw something in me with regard to English and reading and writing that although I was interested in those things, I didn't necessarily feel that I had a talent or a skill in it, but she did. And so she really pushed me to the point where I felt like she was picking on me. And I remember I told my mother, like, Mom, I think she's picking because of Jaron. That's my brother. And so my mother said, no, she's pushing you. That's not picking. There's a difference between picking and pushing. And she's pushing. And so I understood, I learned how to look at children and see what they don't see in themselves and learn how to pull it out of them, even if it's uncomfortable for them. So.
Love it. I think my biggest lesson was actually not necessarily learned from the teachers, Although I've learned things from the teachers, not taking things from them. But growing up, because my mom played, when I went to Daroff, she would often come to school and she would be playing for assemblies and things of that sort. And I really thought it was embarrassing because I'm like, ain't nobody else mom up here doing this. And they was like, we wanted special thanks to Jennifer Harris for her mom coming. And I'm going like this in my seat, trying to get down low and things. But as time grew on, I learned how dope that was. That one, my mom came to my school, was active in my education. Like I can remember every birthday her coming up and bringing birthday cakes and things of that sort. As you can see, they did not help me, but that's fine. She's still good, right? But she was active in my education. So I didn't want to get in trouble because mama didn't play that, but she was there. She was there for parent-teacher conferences. She was there talking to the teachers to find out what was going on. If I got a phone call home, she said, you know what? Don't let it happen again. She said, wait a minute. It's not going to happen again. Let me handle this now. Never had that problem again, So I learned the importance of the parent being involved with the child as they are being educated. And that's one of the things that I definitely want to bring out and talk about today, the importance that the parent plays in the role of their child being educated. All right. So that was our back to school. We remembered. Good job. We'll remember those memories. Thank you for sharing those memories. So now let's talk about one. I got to let the people know how professional you ladies are. Can you tell me about your background? How long you've been in the field? Give them a little bit of that resume so they know that you definitely know what you're talking about. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I have been in education for over 25 years. I've been teaching for 18 years. This is my 18th year. I always wanted to be a principal, Mrs. Burroughs, but I'm not sure that that's the direction I'm supposed to go in now. A lot has changed over these 18 years. But yes, I've been in education. I've been working with children since I was 13 years old. My aunt owned a daycare center. I started there and I worked my way up through high school. Right after high school, I worked for Jefferson Child Care. And even after that, I didn't want to be a teacher. I always wanted to be an attorney. And I took one education course in college and it changed my life forever. And I ended up here. I always said that God was being funny because I hated school when I was in school. And now I'm there every day. So I appreciate the direction He has taken me in.
Awesome. A lawyer, possibly a principal. It's still room for you to be a principal.
That's true. That's true.
It's room. It's room for principals. It's room. I have been in education for 13 years. I am from New Jersey. So I have taught in Newark, New Jersey for the entirety of my career. I taught for Newark Public Schools for 9 years, and then I transitioned over to a charter network. I work currently for KIPP, New Jersey.
Okay.
There's a KIPP Philadelphia as well. So, we like sister networks, But I was an elementary teacher for a huge portion of my career. I taught 5th grade for a very long time, transitioned toward 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Then I made the transition to high school when I came to KIPP. And I did not actually want to be a principal. I wanted to be a dean of students. And yet again, like my sophomore English teacher, my principal saw something in me that I did not see in myself and pushed me to this place where I am. So I'm not actually a principal. I'm an assistant principal.
Okay.
Nevertheless, it's all the same,
Yes.
And so I actually attended I obtained my undergrad degree at Temple University. My degree was in communications because I had no desire to teach. I was not going to teach. My mother was a teacher. We look alike, we talk alike, we act alike. And I said, I am not going to be a teacher like her. But as I would have it, my father, I graduated from Temple. I wanted to be a radio disc jockey, and that's what I went to school for. I did a little something on Saturday mornings on 103.9 The Beat while I was there, but it was no money in that. So the way that those student loans were stacked up, you got to do something else, So my dad encouraged me to take the alternate route teachers exam, which I did after his passing, like as an ode to him, because he said, you'll be a great teacher. And I took it. Quite honestly, I failed it the first time.
Okay.
And I took it again. And when I took it again, and I actually got into the profession, I knew that that's where I was supposed to be. And my career has blossomed since then. I got a master's in curriculum teaching and instruction with a concentration in reading from Grand Canyon University. And I'm currently enrolled at Baylor University for my doctoral degree in curriculum teaching and instruction with a concentration in organizational change.
Didn't I just say doctor? You go ahead, sis.
Wait, I'm about to be Dr. Burroughs in a little bit. Give me a little time.
Yes. Go ahead. Go. You next, Danielle?
Oh, I was in a doctoral program at Capella, and then I just had to pull out. I had too much money in loans. I said, I mean, either if I finish this, somebody else is going to have to pay for it. But I did start. And maybe down the line again, that may be in the cards for me to finish. But I did start. So I have a master's plus 15, 20.
Yeah. So you put that in the atmosphere, anything is possible to happen. Ain't nothing too hard for God. Okay. So, awesome backwards. I also actually wanted to be a principal at one time. Back to Darrell, Dr. Barbara Foxworth. I just knew that was in the line and the cause for me. Then going on that path, did social work and then went into therapy. Still helping people, still helping young children, still educating young children, just a different vein of doing it. So again, kudos to you both for doing that. So since you both have done like the teaching, what has been the best part of teaching? Let's talk about the good first. Yeah.
I'll go again first. Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Jackson. Let's respect the protocol. Ms. Jackson, you gonna go first. We're gonna respect you because you're OG.
Yeah. I love that. I think the most rewarding is when the students that I've had come back and tell me how much of an impact that I've had on them. I have students who I've been married for 17 years, and I have students who still call me, who still call me by my maiden name.
Okay.
So it's like, I know you've been here for a while if you still know me by my maiden name. But, you know, I'm friends with a lot of students on Facebook. I'm friends with, and I've established some really good relationships with them over the years. And just hearing their successes and how I had a small role in that is just probably the best reward.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll definitely echo those sentiments. The relationships, number one, that you build with students and families, because they become actual family members for you, and to see their lives progress, whether good, bad, or indifferent, and to know that I had a part in it. And so many of them still to this day call me by my maiden name, which is why it's hyphenated, because in education, they weren't ready to receive that Burroughs. So they still call me Crawford, you know, so I just hyphenated. But that relationship, having the opportunity to build and for God to even entrust me to even speak into these children's lives, sometimes in their parents' lives, I have always counted an honor, because I just feel like, who am I? You know, like I'm just a little girl from North New Jersey, you know, that, you know, had my own struggles, my family went through our own stuff, but that God would see something in me and know that I would have something to impart in the future, because that's really what it is when you are really building the future. I have always counted it a privilege and an honor, and that is the only reason why I'm still in the profession.
I love it. You know, I lived in Maryland a little bit. Once I was on my undergraduate, I ended up staying here a little while, and when I moved back to Philly, I worked up, got my own apartment here, and my landlord, bless his heart, he actually told me when I was sharing that I wanted to go back to school. And what I wanted to go to school for. He was like asking me about my life and things, and started trying to find out if I would be a good candidate, basically. I said, I want to go for therapy. And he was like, who will listen to you? And I was heartbroken. But, just to be able to be on this platform, just like you said, you're like thinking that you didn't have anything. He had me like really thinking like, well, do I have anything to share? But, being able to push past that and finding out like, look, we've been through these struggles. People can doubt us, but we still going forward. And I'm making a major impact.
And that was God's plan.
God's plan. Now, the other part that I want to share was y'all got these hyphenated names. Dear Jesus, let us pray. Can I get a hyphenated name? Serious? Y'all laughing. Y'all better touch and agree. The Bible say 2 or 3 gather.
In the name of Jesus, Lord, give a hyphen.
Yes, God.
It's power in the hyphen.
God. Thank you, God. It's power in the hyphen. I'm going to use that. I'm going to get that in a shirt.
I like that. Power in the hyphen.
Power in the hyphen. Y'all better not do that. I'm doing that shirt first. Okay. So we talk about what you love most about your job and what's most rewarding. So we already know there was challenges before we even went virtual. So now we're in a whole new can of challenges. I'm hearing that the baby's not paying attention. I'm seeing some memes of the teachers where they done had it up to here, where they kind of over it. What are some challenges that just happen in general? And then what are some challenges that happen with virtual? And then we're going to also talk about how we can help these parents and help these children to really get what they need. Is you, Dave?
So
okay,
it's me. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, it has been challenging. I think most of the challenging is on my side. The technical difficulties that we have. I felt like the first week my computer went out almost every day. You know, during the Zoom, I have had to strategically plan for that. But it's been good. It has been good. It has been challenging, but it has been good. We've had very successful sessions. I anticipated having a lot of students not there, but it was the opposite. Most of our students have been there. I would say 95%, which is excellent. I know we're talking about, the virtual aspects, but surprisingly, our school was very prepared, and we are, offsetting those challenges. One of the challenges that we had was the students not being able to have adequate internet at home, or maybe not the computers that they needed. Our computers were delayed a little bit. So some of the students who have multiple children in the household, it was difficult, there. But not anything to where we couldn't really handle what was going on. Parental involvement is always a challenge sometimes. Especially when parents have to work and they can't really sit at home with the student. Making sure they're online at 9:00, making sure they're attending this class, making sure that they're doing their work. That is missing in the classroom. We're able to keep them for lunch or keep them for recess. We can't do that virtually. So that has been one of the main challenges I can think of, just inadequate internet. I wish Comcast would just give the students the best internet that they can have so they can stay online for school. But we're working out the kinks. We're working them out.
Okay, that's good to hear. 95%. That's pretty big. Kudos. They like you.
I think some of the challenges that we faced, I call it in real life, but like in actual in-person instruction, it's just one thing for sure is like teacher attrition, especially in the urban district, teachers leaving. So a lot of our babies already come and they already have like problems with stability. And so one of the few stable places in their lives are our schools. And so you have teachers that, because of the amount of workload or because of behavioral issues and maybe not necessarily being trained on how to adequately deal with the population of students that they're servicing. And I always reference that because teaching is a service.
Right.
You'll find that teachers don't have a problem leaving. And that has been an issue. I would say, I can only speak from my experience in Newark, in New Jersey. That's been an issue. So with regard to online learning, I would definitely say for the students, as well as the teacher, is the amount, it's a fatigue. Being online all day long, people realize it or not, in the beginning, we thought it would be better, it'd be easier. I'm home, I could just roll up, I put on a shirt and some sweatpants and I'm good to go with my slippers on. But no, the amount of time that you're sitting in front of the computer and trying to simulate what you would normally give a student or the quality of education you would give in a classroom if they were physically with you is very, very demanding. And then for a child to sit there, I don't care if you're in the 2nd grade or the 12th grade, to sit there for 6 hours and stare at the computer, I don't care how many breaks you give them, that's very taxing on the mind, it's taxing on the body.
Absolutely.
You're more tired by the end of the day than if you had gone to actually physically to the building. And so I think like just, focusing number one on self-care, like self-care for educators as well as parents and students is more important now than it has ever been. And allowing teachers to understand that it's okay to step away from the computer, close your mouth. When you have a break, when it's your lunchtime, get up. Don't just sit at the computer and continue to work like we normally would do in the building. You sit there and you keep right on working. Go outside and walk around your block for a few spins around the block. Get some vitamin D because it helps decompress your mind. I think like for me, the biggest issue with virtual learning is just that fatigue. It's very, very difficult. And you want to give children the same experience that they had. But what we have to do now as educators is like have a paradigm shift that they can still have that experience, but that experience has to look and feel a little bit different because the circumstances are not the same. So.
Very true. It's a challenge for parents as they're becoming the IT. They're becoming the lunch lady. They were already the lunch lady, but now they're really the lunch lady. They're the teacher's aide. Can you wake up Johnny? He's asleep. Can you wake up Susie? She's doing something, she needs some little help and things. Their maintenance, whatever that's going on. And that's a challenge in itself too. So if we don't have internet or we do have internet, if something goes wrong with the computer, do they have a hotline they can call? Because I know I won't talk about my current position, but I have had experiences with IT where it's already been special. So I can only imagine, how it's happening now if different things are happening, and that being a barrier as well for the families. And then that parent involvement piece, if the parents are working, like how that works out.
Absolutely.
Goodness.
And our school offers, a full, not a full time, but our IT person is there through a couple of days a week for the students to be able to bring their computers. And there is a email, not a hotline, but we can email them, or they let us know. We're using Schoology, and Schoology also has an app. So they can get on their phones as well, and not just the computer. So they are really, I like Ms. Ross said, like this looks way different now in September than it did in the spring. We weren't prepared in the spring, but now I feel like the administrators spent a lot of time and endless nights thinking about what we needed to do to prepare for this school year. And so far, it is a lot of work for the teachers. It's a lot of work and a lot of differences for the students. But I do believe that the transition was a lot smoother for the fall than it was in the spring.
That's good.
Yeah, I definitely, I started like on Facebook and Instagram, I started this thing called Roller School Updates. And I would make videos every like 2 to 3 days about my experiences as a mother with my own children. And you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I have been everything. I have been the nurse. I have been the social worker. I have been the cafeteria worker. I have been the custodian. Like I have been the IT person. I have been the math teacher, the science teacher. So like I have done it all. That in and of itself was a very good experience. I will say that. I will say that even though this whole pandemic is something that we did not anticipate, but in terms of like my ability to be hands-on with my children, I am very, very thankful and grateful for this time because I got an opportunity to see certain things about my children that quite honestly, I did not see because they're at school all day. Then they go to aftercare. I'm at work. And by the time I pick them up from aftercare, I'm just trying to check to make sure your homework is done. You have a test tomorrow. Let's go over these, skills or whatever the case might be. And the amount of time that it really takes for me to like really be in my children's education, I honestly did not have that. But the pandemic has afforded me an opportunity where it is my children and I 24/7. And my husband is a head custodian for Newark Public Schools. So he's been at work this entire time.
Okay.
And so by the time he comes home, he has to shower. Low key, we make him quarantine a little bit. You got to stay up here in this room because you're out in the elements, But mommy and the kids 24/7, and I've been able to not only focus on like their academics, but even their behavior. That social, emotional. Like now, I see the necessity for them to actually be involved in some type of extracurricular activity now more than ever because they don't have that touch point with other children, and that touch point with other children is essential for their growth and their development. So typically where I normally wouldn't even let them like go outside and be all in our community like that, I let them go now and I let them stay for like an hour. They got to call me and come back in the house, check in. But I know that they need that time with other children and like forcing them to get outside, like go outside, ride your bike, kind of like what we did when we were kids. Because I don't know about you all, but I know summertime, I had to get out the house early.
Yes.
They would come back and get like a tuna fish sandwich or a peanut butter and jelly, and then I had to go back outside.
Yes.
All day.
And no running in and out of the house. But when the lights came on,
you better be in there.
Better be in there.
Don't let that light go on outside.
All day long.
Oh, so I had on my bike coming. I got
ride bikes, jump rope, play hide and go seek, everything.
Yes.
Those are important moments. Those are important social developing moments for us. That before this pandemic, our children were not even doing. We played hopscotch. Like I told them, we drew it outside in the driveway.
Play with chalk, absolutely.
That's it. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
And the kids don't do that now, you know. They don't know what that's about. They just know these tablets and phones. And it's great that they're learning the tablets and phones. But that social piece.
The social piece is big.
We had Rashida Gary, she talked about with the daycare and her son and things that sort, and the benefit of him being around others, because she didn't realize the importance of teaching him how to defend himself. But he learned it from being around others. So then you're learning so much more of things you want to do. Yes, come say double dutch, riding.
Double dutch, yes.
Yes, we did all of
it. Everything.
Yes. But like that importance of that socialization. And even though being with the parent, you know, she was sharing how, you know, mommy teaches you right from wrong, and things of that sort. But to be able to really just do some things, learn some things, explore some things. They do that a little bit more, having that socialization. We know what we did when we was with our friends that we didn't quite do when we was with mommy and daddy, because you know we couldn't do those things, or we were just trying to see how far our reach could really go. But that benefit of that socialization to continue to build words. I've learned actually some young babies that are that stayed home during the quarantine because they couldn't go to daycare or preschool. They actually learn more words because they were around older siblings that were speaking more. So it's that benefit of being able to connect. You're learning something new. You learn something new every day sometimes when you're having conversations with people. So those key pieces are really important of that social network. Adults and children.
And I think for me, one thing that that really stands out is the lack of creativity that our children had before this. They weren't creative, nor were they critical thinkers, because our childhood required you to become creative. You were very imaginative.
Absolutely.
You had 9 hours. Yes. Parents said you got to get out of here.
Yes.
So you figure out, you know, the tree that you're climbing in became a legit tree house.
Yes.
You're imagining a tree house, but it's only a tree. And you've created mud pies, and you've done these different things, and you figured out how to play stickball with 3 people, but y'all playing a full game, you know.
Absolutely.
And so our children
single with the tree, tying the rope on the banister, and
helicopter.
Yes,
made up stuff.
Those were skills that our children, unfortunately, as the time progressed and as the world changed and became better, those are skills that they were no longer. It wasn't needed. You didn't need that because you had a tablet. You got a Game Boy. You got a PS4. And it's easier. It was easier for our parent or for a parent to say, "Go play the game," than to actually go outside and teach them. But when you're in the house 24/7 and you can't do anything else, outside became your best friend.
Absolutely.
So, and then it's critical thinkers. Like, I don't think that we have developed true critical thinkers. Like children or these new generations, they're used to people telling them to them. They don't want to struggle. There is power in a progressive struggle. Like, they don't know, not that they don't want to, but they're not
in a progressive struggle.
I love that
too. I got a couple of y'all gonna buy it?
I think that up.
Yes, that's gonna be a message. Listen, I was just having a conversation with Rashida, as a matter of fact, the other day about, you know, the millennials and you know, how millennials are much different. I'm a Generation X, and you know, we know that. We know that, you know, struggle. We had to work very hard for what we get. And I think that's why it's so easy, not easy, but we're able to transition a little more when hardship comes our way. And we want to keep doing it until we get it. So where the millennial and the generation after, my daughter, like you said, they just needed instant gratification. You tell me how to do it. That'll save me so much time for trying to learn it myself. And I noticed that with the transition to the virtual learning, a lot of our students didn't know how to use a computer. They didn't know a Word document. They didn't know how to copy and paste. It's different than sitting in front of a game for 5 hours.
Yeah.
They don't have to use those skills. So when I was growing up, pretty much everybody had the same skill set. So they knew how to work with computers. But the students today, we actually had to say, okay, this is how you copy and paste. This is how you do this. And I wasn't expecting that, but we quickly, adjusted.
And I don't know about you guys, but in high school, I had computers. Like I took a course where they taught me how to do that. And that is, which goes to some of the deficits in education where they take all of those things out because one is going to assume, okay, you have the iPad, you have the tablet, you'll figure it out. And you don't use what you don't need. I don't know. I don't have any need for this. So why should I learn this? What I need is YouTube. What I need is TikTok. What I need is Instagram. What I need is Finsta.
Fortnite.
I don't need to and use the Word document and how to properly, you really become computer literate.
Right.
Our children are app literate. They're not computer literate. They know how to work. So that's not going to help you when you're learning in school 24/7. You have to learn. You have to really be computer literate. So
I'm about to date myself, but growing up, we had like Oregon Trail and the typing games to see how fast you could type, and that was important for us as we continued our education journey. So I am kind of grateful that the children are learning it because when you get to college, you need a laptop. If you're going to college, if you need a trade school, some jobs require that. So being able to learn that now, you want to be proficient in some of the Excel. You can go in there and know Excel backwards and forwards. You're going to succeed.
Absolutely.
That one right there, you got to get them equation things set up to do what you need to do. So it's a benefit by them learning it now. But I definitely get. I mean, I
just typing a full sentence.
Typing not doing the know when to put the period.
Speech.
The little things. The little things.
Absolutely.
So in speaking of virtual learning, everybody's not a virtual learner. I remember when it was opportunity for me to pursue my master's, they were like, go online, or I knew people that went online. I said, no, I need to go to the classroom. Because if I go to the classroom, I'm sitting there, I'm going to be paying attention. I get on virtual, I'm going to get distracted. I'm like, let me open up this other tab, let me see what else is going on. So how can we support students that aren't really great with the virtual piece? Yes, they could be in front of a game all day, but this part where they have to now learn and really engage in a class, what are some ways we could support that learner that's not really a good virtual learner?
That's a good question. So we've offered opportunities for students to meet us one-on-one.
Okay.
We have what we call office hours at Mastery, where it's not a full 28-person class.
Okay.
It could be two of us one-on-one. And then for some of our special education students, we've offered the support where they will be able to come into the school for one-on-one. So because they do need the face-to-face interaction with the teacher, and they need to step-by-step to show. So just offering ourselves to let the parents and the students know that we are available, because like you said, everybody does not learn the same way. And again, with the virtual, I've had students who couldn't find the assignment during class when they came after class, and it was one-on-one, and I allowed them to share the screen. I said, okay, just click that button. It's one step. One step.
That share screen is saving lives.
That share screen is a big deal. It's a big deal. And, the students feel heard and they feel like they're supported. Awesome. And, I didn't think I would be able to build the relationships virtually like I would have, in the classroom, but I was wrong. We are building relationships and getting to know the students, and just showing them that we are still available, even though it's through a computer screen is important.
Awesome.
We've done the same thing with the office hours. That has been a lifesaver. We've done office hours for both students and staff, because contrary to popular belief, the staff need that extra help as well to navigate and maneuver through all the different demands of virtual learning.
Yes.
The majority of them they weren't prepared for that either. Because nobody went to school or became a teacher to teach through the computer.
Right.
So learn that. They've also needed office hours as well. And then what we've also done is we've built in small group instruction. So Monday and Tuesdays, we teach all our courses are taught whole group. So you'll have like 24 24 to 26 students in your class. And then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and Fridays, there's small group instruction. So you have at max maybe 10 students. And then the students are also learning when they're not within a small group, they're working asynchronously. So they're working independently through Google Classroom, and just allowing, or just as teachers, reading the room. Like you can tell who's struggling, who has to turn in an assignment, and then it's incumbent upon you as a teacher, if the student doesn't reach out, for you to reach out to them and let them know that you are there, you're available for them. Even simple things as completing an assignment and not hitting submit. So having them come to a small group instructional time and like showing them, like Ms. Jackson said, share your screen. Let me share my screen and show you where you're supposed to click, what you're supposed to do. That has gone a long way. And just we also have a social work corner where our social worker will pull certain students and just talk to them, because it is different. It's just completely different. I know that I have one of those children here in my home who is not a good virtual learner. I wonder if he's a good in-person learner too, because he stayed in trouble in school. But my son, he has struggled virtually. Because he needs the touch points of teachers. He does have some issues with his reading, so he does still have small group pull out for his reading. And we've actually seen tremendous growth in his reading since we've been actually in the pandemic. And so again, there have been benefits to it. But like I shared with you ladies before we started, I mean, for like 2 days, he had his headphones on, computer on, in the Zoom, notebook, pencil. And then one day I just noticed him spinning in the chair, and I realized that headphone's not even plugged in. Like you don't even know what the teacher's saying. You're physically here on the camera so that the man doesn't email me. But you are tapped out of this class. And so then I realized as a parent, okay, what I have to do is when he has those breaks, come on, CJ, let's go outside. We're gonna go ride the bikes. And like build in that extra for him to burn off the energy so that he can sit down in front of that computer and focus, because he's 7. He just turned 8 yesterday, but
happy birthday.
Yeah, go 8.
Happy birthday.
But I mean, that's difficult, it's when you already have like attention issues anyway. For you to require me to sit here and listen to you, not talk with you, is not an interactive lesson, but you're actually lecturing me. Like, you're going over addition of 3-digit numbers in a lecture form.
Yes.
In 8-year-olds.
Yes.
So I think, and I had to tell the teacher, like, sir, you're moving just a little bit too fast. By the time he writes down the first number, you've erased the problem. And I feel like to a certain degree, like he started calling on my baby like every question after that. But I felt like he needed to know this little black boy is not sitting here by himself. He's spinning. It's different here. So every once in a while, I'll slide my face into the frame just so he can see me. Because he's not by himself. And if I feel like I'm picking on him, then I know y'all in the schoolhouse. I'm going to come on over to school and have a conversation.
I know that's right.
I love it.
I know that's right.
So the parents involved to make sure their babies get what they need and that you're not picking on the babies.
Because the assumption is that they're home by themselves and that there's a big sister or a big brother helping them. The parent. But no, he's sitting right here next to me at my desk doing his work. And teachers, unfortunately, need to know that, especially when we live in like a very multicultural town in New Jersey. And unfortunately, the perception of Black parents is not necessarily the most involved. And so you have to change that perception. And so you're not going to use my child as the statistic. Like, no, you won't teach him because you're being paid a handsome salary. Not let you
salary.
Teach him. So.
Totally agree.
So it's a little joke. I don't know how funny you guys will find it. We'll see. Because like before, when children would bring home their homework, and the parent had to help them with the homework, it'd be like, oh, wait a minute, it's been a while. What they tell you at school and things of that sort. So now it's like, you're learning with them. So now you can definitely help with homework because you now know what it is that they're trying to teach you. How has that been of learning with the child as well as doing what it is you have to do for your job?
I can't. I'm glad I have teacher friends who can teach, especially with the math. I have a lady from high school that I went to high school with who is a math teacher, and she's been working with my daughter is 13. She's in 8th grade, and my math stopped at 5th grade.
Okay.
So from 6 on, I have had other professionals help her. And even tonight, my boss, my assistant principal, I had her on FaceTime, like, I don't understand this problem. Can you please help her with this problem? And she was very willing to help. You know, I know what my limitations are, but I definitely had to learn a lot of different things over the years with her. As far as math, sister can't do math.
Okay. How about you, Danielle?
Well, my babies are smaller. They're third and fourth grade. So they're still within my wheelhouse. I know that stuff. But like, this math is new math. They're not really teaching you how to add and subtract the way that we learned. I mean, you're adding like.
It is. I was looking at the problem. I said, well, that's not how I used to do it. We gotta count the jelly beans, count the beans.
I teach my kids how to add the way I know how to do it. And they want you to add the hundreds, add the tens, add the ones, and then add it all together. But you're gonna carry this one, and you're gonna circle it so you know to add it. Like I can't do it. So
and my daughter told me my teacher didn't show me like that, and I'm sitting there like, well, this is how I know. And as long as we come out with the same answer.
That's all perfectly fine. Like they got another meme going out that's saying, when the children finally do go back to school and the teacher trying to tell me, like, but my mama said, because the mama has taught them a different way. It's gonna be interesting.
Is the answer correct?
Yeah, is the answer correct?
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. They said, I love math. Stopped at 5th grade. You're not by yourself there. Tracy said the school teaching math differently. And Shatrice said the math is crazy. Yes, it's crazy. It's not the same. Somebody else said something too. Shatrice said you got to watch the teacher too. They talk to the kids disrespectfully. And that does happen. The teachers can get overwhelmed, but the hope is that, that parent is nearby and is supporting. That works out. Crystal said, as long as you get to the goal, my God, that's it. 2 + 2 is 4. You might do something different, but if we get 4, we made it.
Absolutely.
So another part that you said about the self-care piece. So self-care for the teachers and staff, as well as for the children. So making sure they are getting out to ride the bike. I know myself, sitting in front of a computer 8 hours a day, it's taxing. Even if it really it's supposed to be 7 because you're taking lunch and things of that sort. You do that and don't do that at the same time. And that's a boundary that we all have to create. But that piece of stepping away from the computer to not be in a computer, to be on the screen that long. I know I was looking up on the school district how there is like a class schedule still, even though it is virtual. So you do have those times where you have that gym, you have that lunch, you have that recess, depending on what level and things of that sort. How is that going, or what are the supports to encourage parents to really allow that child to take that break, to then come back and be rejuvenated to go a little bit more?
So what supports do we have?
Or yes, or
for that, or what have
or you just pushing the importance of them really taking that moment to like come from that computer, maybe doing something fun for that moment. You whatever would be good.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have, like Ms. Burroughs said, we have the asynchronous days and our synchronous days. Monday is a full asynchronous day. Students can work at their own pace, and they have. We're in person. When we were in person, we had the same classes every day. During the virtual schedule, they have the class every other day. So that's one that the workload is not as heavy. And their virtual day with Zoom ends at a specific time. And the afternoon, they can work at their own pace and take, the screen breaks. And the same with the teachers. We have screen breaks every day. Today, we had off. I did not open my computer until 6 o'clock, which I felt was amazing because I've been on the computer nonstop, not just for work, but for church and for different things that we've been doing. And that's one thing we need to take into consideration as well. Like we have lives outside of just school, and we're on this pandemic has made us be online more than we have ever been before. So just those screen breaks are very, very important. And we find ourselves getting tired or overwhelmed, close the computer. We need to close the computer. Go back in an hour, go back in 2 hours, go back the next day, just so we can rest. Being on a computer at 10 o'clock at night and then going right to bed is too much stimulation. You can't really relax or rest. So that's what I would suggest to our parents and even fellow teachers, educators. Just take a screen break and take mandatory screen breaks when you feel like you're just getting it's too much. Close it. That means phone. That means Facebook. That means Instagram. Anything. Just close it. Read a book. Just sit there in the dark. But take yourself away.
Yes. Awesome.
I think for our kids, we have the same thing. Like we have PE every day for the students. There's special activities, so they still have their art, they still have their Spanish, they still have all those things that any special that they normally would have in the building, they still have it virtually. Just like as a support to the children, I pop into every class. So if I pop in and I see your screen is off, I'm gonna send you a private message. What's good? Like why you not doing the jumping jacks that he's telling you to do right now? You know, get the jumping, something funny to try to make them laugh, but also to let them know, hey, just because it's virtual don't mean that you're not being watched. We're still watching it, and it'll help them in terms of just availing myself to the students and letting them know, like, listen, if you need an outlet, if you need a place to talk, you don't have to Zoom. Let's not Zoom. You can FaceTime me, meetings requesting, with my principal or with some of my directs. Listen, I'm going to FaceTime you today. I'm not going to set up the Zoom. Or I'm just going to call you, regular old school call you, because all of the meetings, we don't have to be looking at each other for you to hear what I'm saying to you, But now that it's virtual, everybody feels that you have to be on Zoom. Like, we cannot meet unless we are Zooming. Yes. And I'm Zoomed out. Yes. So I think that one thing that I also do is I have accountability people in my life, just in general, whether it's at work or like my sister and my mom, like they'll know, like I'll tell them, like I'm feeling extremely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I can call them and they'll say, okay, shut everything down. I'm very transparent with my principal, and letting her know like where I am in terms of actually learning this new position. So we sat down and we set a schedule. And so like we set time for me to check my email. We set time for me to respond to those emails. Yes. We set time for me to eat my lunch, because contrary to popular belief, and even though you're home, you are so engrossed in what you're doing.
Yes.
You do not eat. You do not go to the bathroom. You do not drink water.
You know what? You're right.
You see what I'm saying? You got to drink water and go to the bathroom. You have to.
Absolutely.
That's simple things we're forgetting.
Yeah, the schedule.
I have a schedule right here, and I from 7:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock at night. It's
absolutely
so just the simple things, and being honest and transparent about where you are and what you're feeling is the only way that anybody will know, you know what, I'm not the only one that feels this way. I'm not the only one that's overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what you doing to help you get over this? All right, let me try it. And even as a parent, like I will tell my children, 8 and 9 years old, I need a minute. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm at my wit. I don't want to say anything to you harshly. I don't want to come at you crazy. I don't want you to feel that mommy does not care. But in this moment,
yes,
I need 15. Give me 15 minutes, and then we can reconvene and we'll talk. And I'll be in a better headspace.
Yes.
Deal with what you need, because everybody needs something. Like everybody's pulling. Everybody's pulling.
Everybody.
Pulling. The students are pulling. Your children are pulling. And you don't want to drop the ball on anything.
Right.
But one thing that I was told recently was, in our bags, we have glass balls and we have rubber balls. Technically, you don't want to drop any of them. But if you got to drop one of them, drop that rubber ball. That rubber ball will bounce back up. If you drop the glass ball, those things are extremely important. That means it's going to be shattered. And the effects of that is going to just not only hurt you, it's going to hurt other people. So know that it's okay to drop some of those balls, but you got to make sure you drop the right one. Drop the rubber ones.
You dropping some nuggets on tonight.
I'll give you a little nugget, a little chicken nugget with a little barbecue sauce on the side.
that was because and this is not just for young learners, but this is the adult learners too. At first when we started working from home, I was like, okay, I could do this. Then I was like, so this is not supposed to be this not my life. I'm reaching out to my friends that I know, already work from home. Like, how do you do it? They're like, some days are better than others, but you have to have those moments to kind of figure out, look, I need to take a pause. Today I had so many meetings. It was like 10 minutes to 3 and I knew I had something to do at 3. they were like, can we talk about this? I said, look, I need to go to the restroom. I need to get something to drink. I need to prepare myself before this 3:00 comes. I can't do it right now. So you got to know those boundaries. You got to know what to say. Look, let's talk again tomorrow, or let's talk again later on. Can this be an email? Does it have to be a meeting? Do we really got to see each other? Because sometimes I'm not really ready to be on camera. And it doesn't mean that I just woke up and I'm looking ratchet and things of that sort. I just don't feel like it. I'm tired, So you have to learn that. And if we're feeling that way as adults, imagine the children. They got to be there. Then they're seeing somebody, and you're hoping that because you can do those individual chats, you're hoping that nobody's not doing anything inappropriate to the babies. So it's a process. So just as parents are going through the process, being there to support their child through that process as well. But that rubber ball and glass ball, okay.
And you definitely said something that I just thought about. Like we do testing every Friday. And like I had a student that reached out to me and she was like, Ms. Burroughs, I want to be there for my test. She said, but I am not in the headspace to sit in that room for 45 minutes with 40 other kids. She said, can I please take the test someplace else? Now for purposes of making sure that there's academic integrity. No, you can't. But what I can do is I could put you in I could have your test proctor put you in a breakout room. And so you don't necessarily have to see these, because when they take the test, the cameras have to be on, your face has to be in the frame. And even if you minimize it, it's still distracting. If somebody types something in the chat, you hear the ding. Yeah. And I understood where she was coming from. And I think not being so pressed to hold, nope, this is the line and we have to toe the line and we have to do it this way. I made an executive decision. I said, put her in a breakout room. Yeah. And when you get ready to start the next section of the test, bring her back so she can get the directions and then put her back over there.
I love it.
But making sure that you really address all the needs of the whole child. And if she can at 14 say, I'm not here for it today. I want to take my test. I almost felt like I wasn't even going to log in to take the test. But I don't have the wherewithal to sit in that room with all those people. You got to meet the needs of the children. And which we
absolutely
accommodate.
Kudos to her that she understood that.
Yes. And these babies, some of them are going through a lot at home. It was beneficial to get to school, to get away from it, but now they are in it all day and they can't run as much. So that little piece of support meant the world to her. Last week we had a counselor and she was saying how one of the students weren't on because they were working. They're now a breadwinner for the household. Things are changing. The responsibilities of these children, they're growing up a little bit faster, or they are helping their siblings, or they're just trying to figure it out for themselves and maybe not have that support of the others. It's a whole process. So kudos again to that support. Kudos. I have another question for you. What's the best advice you've been given about being an educator?
That's a good question. What is the best advice? I would say, and Ms. Burroughs touched on it earlier, each child is different. And when she talked about her and her brother, as a teacher, you make a lot of mistakes and then you learn along the way. Not comparing students to their sibling, and not comparing another student to another student, just knowing that each child is different. Each child comes from has different circumstances. Each child has different history, and just meeting each student where they are. I think that is the best advice that I've learned. A lot of my students have situations, as you said, that are not like mine. I didn't grow up in some of the similar situations that are our students, and they have some really, really difficult home lives.
Yes.
And just knowing and having that empathy and knowing, getting to know them and having that relationship. So, when it's a good day, when it's not a bad day, what's in their character, what's not in their character, and just building those relationships. So building the relationships and then just treating each student independently, individually is probably the best advice that I've gotten.
Awesome.
I think the best piece of advice that I've received is to, number one, be the teacher that I always wanted. Be that whatever you wanted, whatever you needed, then when you're in that classroom, that's what you do. Also, with that, every day is a new day. And even though the persona of a teacher is that you are
in the spirit, she did that too.
that you're supposed to be perfect, you're supposed to have it all figured out. That it is okay for you not to know, and it's okay for you to let your students and they appreciate you saying that you don't know.
That's it.
And even in that, if you miss the mark, it is okay to tell the children, I'm sorry,
I made a mistake.
I made a mistake, Even I've gone to the point where, some days just being honest as a woman, and I might be on my menstrual cycle and my attitude is in the gutter. And I'll come to the class and be like, look, sit down and take your book out, because on today, what you're not going to do is get on my nerves. And then you got to come back later on and say, you know what, I was really fun. That was messed up on me. I was in my own feelings,
I love it though.
But it's real.
Yeah.
It's real, because and I'm not, and letting them know although I might have superhero tendencies, I'm not a superhero.
Yeah.
We are human. We are definitely human.
Just that honesty and that transparency is something that has taken me a long way, and being the teacher that I wanted to be. So, like Jackson, I was terrible in math. Like forget about it. I don't even know how to get out of high school, but I did.
Yes.
But when I had to teach math, I became the math teacher. I taught math in a way that I wish someone would have taught it to me. So I would come home and figure out and do the problems before I went to the classroom and taught it. I taught myself how to do it. I taught myself multiple strategies. I planned for the misconceptions. I thought about me, 10-year-old Danielle, who didn't understand how to reduce them fractions. I could not get that reduction of the fraction down to save my life. I didn't get it. But
and we don't have to do it now, but we had to learn it then. Sorry.
I'll reduce the fractions with cooking. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I don't have the proper
You're right. You're absolutely right. I have the one that breaks it down for me already, so I don't gotta do too much. Just stick it in the refrigerator.
I'm showing.
I asked Siri.
Oh. No, I mean right here, like I need a cup. Okay, so if I do 3 of these 1/3, that's gonna give me a full cup. All right, 1, 2, 3.
I love it. I also love the honesty and the transparency with the students. I saw the meme the other day, and it was talking about parents explaining things to their children. They were being upset, but if we don't explain things to them, they don't know how to express their feelings either. So when they see that, look, you're human and you have moments too. Wait, I have a moment too. Can I talk about my moment? And it opens up a new can of worms. We already have, the male that doesn't really want to share things because they think they can't. They got to be men. They got to be strong. But you have to be able to express your feelings, because if not, it's going to be pent up. And when you let it out, then we got another problem on our hands. So really encouraging that piece of communication with your children as you find out you seem frustrated, you seem tired. How can I support you as you're trying to, learn with class? Is your teacher, what can we do? What can we, having that one-on-one with the teacher, which leads me to parent-teacher conferences. They're still going on, even though we're virtual. What are some ways that, or what are the times when parents should reach out for a parent-teacher conference, and the benefits that they can learn? It's not just, you find out what your child is doing, but doing wrong or bad, but you also find out how you can support your child too, because that teacher knows a little bit more sometimes, and the parent knows a little bit more, but sometimes, it's different ways that they know about your child to be able to help you. So what are some pieces with that parent-teacher conference?
I just wanted to piggyback off of what you said. Teachers are with your children a lot longer than you are.
I know. I was trying not to put that out there, but it really is. They really are. You really are.
The teachers know a lot more about your kids than you think they do. And a lot of times your children, they are learning from you in your home, but the teacher is also an added influence, be it positive or negative. And the teacher is shaping the way that they see and they view the world. Now, if you are in a position, that is why it behooves parents to really get to know the teacher. Because the teacher has a direct influence to your child. If I want to spit venom and hatred and build that up slowly in your child, I have 10 months to cultivate whatever it is that I want in your child, be it positive or negative, whether you like it or not. And they're going to be with me every single day, because you're going to send them every day. They're going to and whether if they're in your class all day, or if they're in your sphere of influence for at least 6 hours, they're in your area for at least 6 hours. I can really impart a lot into your child. And so, Jackson, I know you're supposed to jump in and do first, because you're supposed to answer all the questions first. But parent-teacher conferences, I think that it's just I look at the parent-teacher conferences the same way virtually that you would in person. So the objective of the parent-teacher conference is for you to assess where your child is with regards to their academics, and either if they're meeting the bar or if they're not, and then developing a plan to make sure that they stay on track or get on track. it requires the parent to do a little follow-up. So even though we say, all right, Johnny is not doing well in this class, he needs to attend Ms. Jackson's office hours. At some point, the parent should be reaching out to Ms. Jackson. Ms. Jackson, Johnny said that he came to your office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I just want to confirm that that's valid. Ms. Jackson will tell you, no, he was not there. Thus, he still has a 65. You know? And so I think that the parent-teacher conference allows the parent to take ownership and be included in what is going on in the classroom, as opposed to saying that my child is of this age or they're in this grade, and so now they got it. Because if you be honest, we don't even have it even in college. Like, you're still like reaching out to somebody to help you navigate. And so the parents are an integral part of the actual learning process. And the conference allows you to see where your student is, and now it pulls you in if you want to be there.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah. And with that, you know, just to piggyback off of that, I would encourage parents not to even wait to the conference. You know, as Ms. Burroughs said, throughout the semester, if you see that the grades are changing and you're looking at the progress reports, you're looking at test scores, you're looking at different things, and that's not up to your standards, then reach out to the teacher.
Yes.
You know, we will reach out to parents, but we also have 30 students in each class. And at some point, some students do get lost in the mix. I think sometimes parents don't realize how many students we actually see every day. I'm that parent. I'm the parent that is looking at my daughter's grades online. I'm looking at this. If I see a pattern, I'm contacting the teacher. I'm looking at, grades. I'm looking through her notebook. I'm looking at different things. I'm asking questions. And I think that's, what our parents have to do. I know it's tired. It takes 30 seconds to say, okay, how was your test today? Or when is your next test? When do you have homework this evening? Do you have this? That way you can kind of counter and not wait. By the time, you get your report card and you're in the conference, it's almost too late.
Yeah.
So we need to try to offset that.
Yes.
Start early and then work our way up.
So important. So important. Definitely not waiting until that first report card. That first report card comes, you're like, oh, wait a minute. I saw. Now we gotta have another conversation. What can we do to bring this up? Because if it's 3 quarters, 4 quarters, 4 quarters, how can we bring that back up? Same when you were in college. You're like, whoa, that first semester, you got to bring that back up. So again, having that conversation with the teachers to find out how to support your child, having that conversation with your child. Do you feel like what you're learning is good? Is it not challenging you enough? Or is it too hard? And then finding out how we can work that out to bring you up to that grade level where you should be. Someone else y'all said, y'all talk about these tests. They still doing tests. I said, this got to be interesting. Like, back in the day, I had seen people cheat. I don't know if I had ever cheated, but there got to be a new spin on how to kind of find answers when everybody virtual like, hey, number one, A, you got to learn sign language, B, C, D,
these people, they got group chats. They send it.
And group chats. On their phones, texting each other.
Yeah, you expect. I think if you go in thinking that they are not going to get a little assistance, then you are setting yourself up for a major upset moment. But like for English, they have to submit it to turn it in. So like I didn't get introduced to turn it in until like my junior, senior year of high school. But they're using turn it in right now. Okay. And so we just caught cheating today. Like a kid from a KIPP school in Camden and a student at a KIPP school in Newark have the same exact essay. It's 82%. 82%. I forgot what it's called, but like that similarity rate. That's what it is. Oh. So they think that they're smarter, but
they're rising early.
Yeah. And
then they're in 2 different schools. They slick.
They're in 2 different parts of the state.
They slick.
North in Camden.
Where they buy that from? They buying that from somebody?
I think it's that good Google. That Google. You can
right. That Google
out real easy.
Oh, I can't believe them babies. Lord help the babies.
Oh, they still cheating. Child, they still cheating out here. They still cheating. But you still the amount of students that are actually cheating in comparison to the students who are doing the right thing is a very small number. Okay. But that's how it always is in education. Right. You're gonna have your cheaters. You're gonna have those that did not study and they going. I mean, not that I have done it, but I had heard.
Yeah, I have heard too. Dad, you had heard?
You could put it right here in your hand.
I had heard water bottles, glasses,
Yes.
your little pen.
The
Listen,
inside of the sleeve, Lord. I don't.
I've seen it all.
I have heard these things.
I had heard it.
Monday said Google.
I had heard it. I had heard that that's what they do.
She said parents with teachers work together. It's a partnership. She said, yeah, okay. I don't think she believed that we saying we had heard.
Yeah, that's my sister.
That's our story. We sticking to it though.
Not us, but we know people.
Yes, we know people. She said this is good. It's a partnership. Absolutely. And Ms. Myers also said be able to be taught as well as teach. Absolutely. You know, we're learning every day. Teachers are learning every day. Principals learning every day. If we're working from home, we're learning every day. It's a whole process. So 2 questions, I'm gonna let you go. What are some things that parents are doing that's not supportive? And then what's that part that we want them to do more of? Are they not for parent-teacher conferences? You could tell. Well,
I'm thinking.
Okay. She said go there.
I would just like parents to be more involved. And I know that's difficult, especially during this time because of work schedules and different things, but I just need parents to ask questions more. I feel like it would avoid a lot of our students it will save them a whole bunch of trouble and heartache if they start early. Ask questions, talk to the teachers. Even with this way, I feel like because we are virtual, it's a lot more easier access to the teacher, is the easier access to the principal, is easier access to the administrators in the building, and use that. Just use it, because we have that parent who is always wanting to communicate, and then we have the ones who we want to communicate that don't. So I would say just to be more active and involved in the day to day.
Okay. So words of wisdom from Teacher A. Jackson: be more active in the day to day. Got it.
I think for me, I would like for the parents to exude just a little bit more grace, because it's new for everybody. It's new for the students. It's new for the teachers, and the school districts are doing the best that they can. That is not going to be perfect. That trial and error, because nobody has had a virtual school before. Even though you've had online classes, like on a collegiate level, teach K through 12 virtually is something that's completely different, and it takes grace and a bit of patience.
Yeah.
So have patience with themselves, have patience with their children, the school in and of itself. Just extend that measure of grace and patience, because we need it just as they do as well.
That's it. I thank y'all so much. This has been amazing. I've had fun. You guys are fun. So I just want to make sure I got my t-shirt right. There's power in the hyphen.
Yeah, it's power in the hyphen, sis.
Okay, it's power in the hyphen.
There was it. Power in the hyphen.
I got a couple shirts out of it. I also got power in a progressive struggle. So I'm coming out with these. It's gonna be nice. Y'all, I'm gonna get y'all one. Y'all help me out with this.
Send me one.
What are some things that you want to take away as we come to a close?
Say again.
Oh, we've talked about a whole lot.
Anything else?
Anything
else you want to add to put that cherry on the top before we close?
Just to co-sign with the being patient. We've entered into a territory we've never been in before, and just like they're patient with them Eagles, be patient with it.
It's too soon, Danielle. It's too soon.
Be patient with the teachers. At least we have a plan, and we're working it out day by day. But we're trying to get. I just see my dad made a comment. Hi, Dad.
I see the pastor. Goodson. Hello, good sir. He said, "Great program. What can school districts do to support teachers?"
Yes. So he has a Bible Community Association in Upper Darby. My parents live in Upper Darby.
Okay.
The church is in Upper Darby, and he's had 2 forums with the Upper Darby School District where the superintendent has come on and talked about what the plan has been, what they're doing, and how they're supporting the students. And, I had an opportunity to sit on the forum and talk about, the teachers are there too. We need to support the teachers as well, because they're the one getting the brunt. The teachers and administrators, so many people had so much to say over the summer about, what schools were doing and what they weren't doing and how they do this. And, the administrators need the support, the teachers need the support, and that will give us the boost to do what we do every day. Because I believe that most of us are here, not all of us, but most of us are here because we want to change lives and we want to pour into our children. And just having that extra support, that thank you for what you do. We appreciate you, something throughout the week, especially on those hard days. That means so much. That means so much. So that's what I would want to leave.
Thank you.
I think that to address Ms. Jackson's father's question, one thing that districts need to do is, like Ms. Jackson said, acknowledge the work that the teachers are doing. That needs to be heard and felt more than ever. Because they don't, when you're in the school building, you know whether or not you're hitting the mark or missing the mark. It's very hard to know if you're hitting or missing a mark in something that has never been done before. So just encouraging them that they're seen and that they're heard goes a long way. I think also making sure that the standards are not lowered just because it is virtual, but still requiring and demanding that teachers actually teach their children, because like I said, they are our future. So even though the mechanism or the conduit by which this education is being presented is different, the message is still the same. They still have to learn. They still have to be able to be a productive member in society. But I think the one thing that I want to leave with regard to this conversation, first, thank you very much, Jen, for this opportunity. This was amazing. It was a dope night. I want to leave with like a quote from Albert Einstein, and he said, education is what remains when one has forgotten what one has learned in school. So at some point, everything that we learn in school is not what we need. But what we learn in school are generally those lessons that may never happen through your textbook, or may never happen with that polynomial, or may never happen with measuring out your beaker. But you are being educated on how to persevere. You are being educated on how to continue to endure in face of adversity. You are being educated on how to show stick-to-itiveness, because this is not easy what we're doing online. And I think that allowing our students, our parents, our district, everybody that is involved and have the opportunity to serve in this capacity virtually, letting them know that whether you realize it or not, you are teaching these children something. And what they are learning might be something that is going to help them in their lives outside of your classroom or outside of your Bitmoji room, It's an honor and it's a pleasure to be a teacher. It's an honor and it's a pleasure to serve in the magnitude of serving children and creating our future. And my quote that I'm on right now, that I'm done. Amir Suleiman said he made this statement to children, and for those children that are listening, I want to leave this with them, and parents that have children, tell your kids this too. You will be someone's ancestor, so act accordingly. Drop the mic on that one.
You really did drop that one.
Listen.
Ancestor. So
we don't need to say no more. Listen, that was powerful.
Yes,
that was powerful.
She done dropped the mic on us. So, this has been amazing. She also said,
it has been amazing.
Excellent information. Miss Rhonda, thank you so much from day one. That's good. Can't give pizza right now. You can't give pizza right now. We got to give other rewards and things to the children. But I love that piece also of having that grace and patience, not just with, the students as they're learning, but the teachers, because they're dealing with 30 different personalities, 30 different babies that are going through different things. And they're trying the best that they can. And the teachers are trying to be there for each and every one of those children. So again, patience and respect to teachers, principals, to those in the school district that are teaching our children on a daily basis. Because again, they're learning right now what's going to take them further. They're finding out right now, do I want to be a teacher? Do I want to be a principal? Do I want to be a doctor? And hopefully they're finding out the social skills to be able to do a good job. Because, I take a doctor, I want to find out how your bedside manner is. Can you get along with others? If I make you mad, are you going to stab me with that needle? I know it's confidentiality. I know it's HIPAA. I know it's different situations. But right now are those fundamentals that may not be taught from that textbook, but the different ways of how we cause them to feel. They may forget what you did, but they won't forget how they felt. So having that piece too. But she done dropped the mic on this ancestor. I'm gonna write that down too. I'm not gonna do a t-shirt because that's all hers. But I got the other ones coming, so y'all look me up. I'm having them coming out. Maybe the end of the year, we'll see what I can do. I gotta talk to my people, and then I'm gonna give me some shirts. I'm gonna bring y'all over too. Ms. Wanda said I'm retired, so I pray for all of you. Thank you, Ms. Wanda. Keep praying, keep praying, keep praying. So again, thank you so much, ladies. This was awesome.
It was awesome. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you again. I'm going to help close this out. And again, I shall be in contact. I shall follow you, Danielle. I'm going to look for some of these videos too, of you with your little updates and things of that sort. You're going to have me laughing, I'm sure. She's dropping mic and things, got some nuggets of wisdom and things. I'm going to be sure to check you out. So again, thank you again so much. And y'all have a great evening.
You.
Nice meeting you, Jackson.
Nice meeting you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Damn. Wasn't that fun? Thank you so much for joining. I got some resources for you. You ready? So last week we shared about Give Kids Sight Day. I want to bring that back. Here we go. There we go. So Give Kids Sight Day is coming up. It's going to be Saturday, October 10th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Be sure to call ahead to make an appointment for this free eye care and eyeglasses virtual event for children ages 6 to 17 years old. I got another one for you. Bam, right here. My church is doing food for your child, yo. They're doing something for the community. So every Monday, beginning October 5th, which is coming up, through December 24th, I think that says, they're going to be giving out breakfasts and lunches, yes. Beginning October 5th through December 14th from 11 to 1 p.m., you go to Victory Christian Center, located at 5220 Whitby Avenue, right here in Philadelphia, to receive 5 breakfasts and 5 lunches per child. If you have any questions, be sure to give them a call at 215-474-2717. Again, the children are home during school, during school virtually. So we have some healthy meals for your children right at Victory Christian Center, food for your child, healthy meals for your children. Oh my goodness. So this concludes our what is this? Our back to school. I'm gonna take this off because it's been a little warm. Woo, goodness gracious. That was from I think this was from my undergrad year. Because yes, the burgundy from Yumi, yes. You Hulk Pride. Catch it. Any Hulk fingers out there? Okay. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I want to share with you what we got coming up next. So pause right there.
Hey. It's your girl Jen Cares, and I want to invite you to join me for our Getting Your House in Order October series. Join us on Monday, October 5th, as we will have Whitney Brewington of Fearless Action and Angelique Long of X Soul Fitness to talk about healthy living. Then join us on Monday, October 12th with firefighter Quan Jackson as we talk about fire safety. Tune in on Monday, October 19th, as we will be talking about credit repair with credit expert Enacia Bradshaw. We will close out on Monday, October 26th with Shaquilla Strawberry, a real estate agent, to learn how to secure a home. So mark your calendars and tell a friend, because the Getting Your House in Order series is one you don't want to miss, and it's brought to you by Chosen Counselors.
She out here doing a thing. Y'all be sure to tune in. Next month is going to be awesome. And Quan Jackson, guess what? He is the husband of school teacher Daya Jackson. I'm so excited to talk about fire safety because we're coming into the winter months. Sometimes we plug in these heaters and things of that sort. We want to make sure that we are protecting ourselves with what smoke detectors we need, carbon monoxide detectors we need. If you even have a fire extinguisher, we need those too. All right. So as always, we want to hear from you. If there's a topic or a resource that you want me to bring, or somebody that would be an amazing guest, email me at chosencounselorsinc@gmail.com. Now, to be honest, I really haven't gotten any emails, but I guess I'm doing a good job. Y'all kind of like what we're doing? Let me go to the comments. Awesome, very good, awesome, okay, very good, okay, it was nice, great, excellent, okay, I must be doing all right. We're going to keep on going with it. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I love you all for real. Until next time, next Monday, we'll be back with our Getting Your House in Order series. I love you. Bye.